Alrighty, everybody. Today we are going to talk about some of the pieces of other ways that we can use our trigonometry. So this is really how it becomes helpful. Trigonometric ratios, or putting opposite over hypotenuse, doesn't really do a whole lot for us, but it's when we start to use it to find missing things that it can be helpful for. So one of the ways that we use trigonometric ratios is to find side lengths. My pen's not quite working for me here. Is to find a side length, okay? This uses a calculator. So please know that for this, anytime you are finding a missing side using trigonometry, you are going to need to use a calculator. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to use I'm going to show you how you can find length h using two different angles and two different trigonometry or trigonometric functions. So we want to find this missing side h that I'm highlighting here, okay? And it says to use it finding angle h. Well, angle h is right over here. I'll put a theta there because that's where we are at. And now I want to think about what can I use to help me. So I'm going to label my opposite, my adjacent, and my hypotenuse. Well, I know I have to include my opposite, so that if I think of SOHCAHTOA, I have to use my opposite, so I know I'm not going to use cosine because that doesn't use opposite. And then the other side that they give me is my hypotenuse, so sine uses opposite and hypotenuse. So I am going to use the sine of theta, which is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is also equal to h over 3. Well, here's the deal. We know what theta is now. Theta is 50 degrees. So I'm going to rewrite this as sine of 50 degrees, or the sine of that angle measure, gives me h over 3. I can treat sine 50 just like I would 5 plus 10 or square root or squared, right? So I can do math from here to get h by itself. My goal is to figure out what h is. Well, right now h is being divided by 3. So to get h by itself, I need to multiply by 3 on both sides of my equal sign. So I have 3 sine of 50 is equal to h. Perfect. That is all I needed to do. I want to find out what that actual length is, though. So I'm going to take a minute and go on my calculator. Okay, your calculator should look something like this. And I'm going to type in exactly what we just said. 3. Oh, why is it not clicking? Come on. Hang on just a second. Oh, rats. Okay, well, you would type in 3, and then your sign button is up here. For some reason, it's not letting me type in my number, but I'll write sine, and then I would type in 50, okay, and it would give me my answer. I apologize that this isn't working. But sine is this SIN button. You type in your angle measure, close out your parenthesis, times our 3, and that would give you your answer. Okay, so I did it on my calculator just now, and I found that when I took the sine of 50 and multiplied it by 3, that h is equal to 2.29 inches. So that would be my answer. Now, the really cool thing about trigonometry is that I can use multiple angles to find the same thing. So now it says to find the side length h using angle f. So I'm still finding side length h. This time my theta is going to go at angle f. Well, hold on. Before we do anything, I'm going to erase my adjacent, hypotenuse, and opposite signs because I know those are going to change. I'm going to erase my theta, And I'm realizing I don't actually have an angle measure at F, but I can find it because I know that a triangle is 180 degrees. All the angles are 180 degrees, which means that angle G plus angle H plus angle F equal 180 degrees. Well, angle G is equal to 90. Angle H is equal to 50, so all I have to find is my missing angle, and when I subtract, I find that F is equal to 30 degrees. So that's what I'm going to put in for theta, 30 degrees. This is an arrow here, okay? Okay, well now I got my theta, I got my angle, I got to label what I have. My opposite is across the triangle, my adjacent is next to the triangle, or the theta, and my hypotenuse is across from the 90 degrees. Well, what are the things I have to work with? Adjacent and hypotenuse. That is going to be cosine. So I'm going to take the cosine of theta, which in this case is 30 degrees, and that is equal to h over 3. I have a different angle, and I have a different operation or a different trig sign, but the same fraction. Let's see what happens. Well, I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides to get my h by itself. So I have 3 cosine 30 degrees is equal to h. Again, I'm going to go into my calculator and click cosine, which is right up above the parentheses. Okay, type in my theta, my angle measure, type in my multiply by 3, and I get that h is equal to 2.29 inches. Well, that is lovely because that is what we got when we used a different operation. So this proves to us that I can use 2 different trigonometry ratios with 2 different angles, and I will get the same value, okay, to find the same missing side. So what's nice about this is that it shows us that we can make choices. You can use whichever trig you want to use. If you want to use sine, cosine, or tangent, as long as you have the sides you need to make that happen, either way works.